Good morning. Welcome to the Bay Area Experience Evidence-Based Policy Webinar Series, organized by Policy Research at Hong Kong IAPS and co-sponsored by the CUHK Global China Research Program. I'm Fanny Cheung, convener of Policy Research at Hong Kong IAPS and moderator of this webinar series. The CUHK Policy Research at Hong Kong IAPS program is dedicated to promoting cross-boundary and interdisciplinary collaboration on policy research. To facilitate academic exchanges and social awareness of different policy issues, we invite scholars, policymakers, and stakeholders to discuss policies across different areas. The focus of this series is the strategic development of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area, or in short, the GBA. One of the strategic focus areas of our Global China Research Programs. The GBA comprises of the two special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau, and the 9 municipalities of Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Foshan, Huizhou, Dongguan, Zhongshan, Jiangmen, and Shaoqing in Guangdong Province. The development of the GBA is key to the strategic planning of the country. The aim is to leverage the advantages of the above regions to contribute to cooperation and integration among districts and to promote regional economic development. The plans for the GBA cover multiple policy areas, including innovation and technology, education, economy, urban planning, and others. We have planned a monthly Greater Bay Area webinar through July 2022. Today, the topic of our webinar is Building the Future STEM Workforce from K-12 in the Greater Bay Area. Hong Kong enjoys valuable opportunities brought out by the GBA in IT development, as well as in the integration of STEM, the acronym standing for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, in the workforce and in the field of education. The Hong Kong SAR government is stepping up efforts in IT development with additional resources. Policymakers are highlighting the urgency to ensure student persistence and success in STEM education and student preparation for the STEM workforce. These opportunities have prompted Hong Kong to develop its specific characteristics in STEM education. In today's webinar, the speaker and discussants will share their research and views on the following: K-12 STEM education in Hong Kong, ways to prepare youth for future studies, and career choices in the STEM field. Our speaker, Professor Thomas Chiu, Assistant Professor in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction at CUHK. We'll have two discussants, Professor Ching-sing, Professor in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction at CUHK, and Professor Peter Wang, Assistant Professor at the Department of Curriculum and Instructions in the Education University of Hong Kong. We will have 30 minutes of presentation by the speaker, followed by 10 minutes of discussion by the two discussants. And we'll reserve about 15 minutes for the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat box and send it to our administrators, and we'll call on you to raise the questions during the Q&A period. Let me first introduce our speaker, Professor Thomas Chiu. Professor Chiu received his PhD from the University of Hong Kong. His expertise is in quantitative research in digital and STEM education and design-based research methodologies. His recent research focuses on K-12 students and teacher engagement in STEM and digital education. In his studies, he aims to understand how to develop interest of K-12 students in STEM education and to explain how teachers motivate students to engage in digital STEM learning. He also runs more than 40 professional development workshops for STEM teachers in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Australia. Please join me in welcoming Professor Thomas Chiu. Professor Chiu, please.
Hi, everyone. I hope that you're all well. So let me share my screen first. So it is a topic. So I hope that, today I will start with this agenda. In my talk, the 30 minutes, I will talk about this. First, I will talk about set the scenario. Where are we now in terms of STEM education in Hong Kong? And then I will share some of the research. What happening in Hong Kong. We have STEM education policy like in 2015, have been like 6 or 7 years, and then what they think about the program. So in Hong Kong, it's very, 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 very interesting. When we have STEM education, not just school, usually the school partner with university, industry, even the alumni. And then to make to give our students some STEM learning experience. What they think? Are they, the main goal of STEM education is the future workforce. So what is very important, if we can turn them, make them, interest them, motivate them to work in the STEM field or industry, then may not be the goal of STEM education. Why do we need it? So at the end, at this talk, my talk, I will talk about the recommendation for university, also for school. What can we do? So because I will also analyze some university program, what they all, how the student in school feel. So first, I want to set a scenario. I will give you some background of the STEM education first. But based on one document is from the Legislative Council. They actually in 2020 June they have a we have STEM education for like 4 years. Let's study them. What happened? We put a lot of money there. Are they doing well? So actually, unfortunately, Hong Kong government put a lot of money, a lot. But actually, when they compare Hong Kong STEM education, the development to other countries, actually may not be what they expect. Maybe we invest this high, but the result is not like catching up. Doesn't match. So again, we always talk about Greater Bay Area. What happened? Can we do it to because in that area, that in Greater Bay Area, STEM education, STEM industry is a very important area that we have to focus on. So let's look at more data. So you can see that there are some data. Of course, this data is a little bit old now because now it's 2022. I would say that the number now from my observation will be better, but this is the number that I got. So in 2018, so you can see that the Hong Kong one, they talk about the number. So you compare to other countries. Hong Kong is basically compared to other countries kind of behind. So you can see, look at the number. Hong Kong is staying 66, and then Denmark is 15.7. Taiwan is 13.5. Okay, and then we look at this. This is very relevant to us. So we compare that document, compare two university. One is Hong Kong U, the other one is Chinese University, and also compare different faculty results. So you can see that when you look at this one, many students, they prefer to study like law, business, rather than STEM education. So you can see that the number, it's quite, myself, when I look at the number, the figures is quite significant. So how can we attract more students to study and STEM subject in university. And another one is so when you look at this, we also have reform with DSE. So I think in 2013 is our first year of exam of DSE. So you can look at the number because 2013 is the cutoff. So when they compare 2019 and 2000, pink one is one subject. The student would take one subject. So in 2012, student study 45.1 students study one subject, and 9.4 study 3 subjects. So actually in 2012, we have more students study STEM subject. In 2019, actually we have less, 3 point something students less study STEM subject in DSE. So it's like seems that our reform leading like we have less students study STEM education or science subject. And then of course I want to give it this in the report. They also I just copy from the report. They talk about it. 50% of the high school students, they didn't study science or technology subject. So we have 50% of the students and actually never touch STEM subject in the high school. And then so you can see that when they study advanced mathematics, it dropped in 2016, dropped from 23% to 40% from 2016 to 2012. What does that mean? That means that we have 10% less students study advanced mathematics. So it seems that in our new examination system, many students that they prefer to study one subject is art, one is science. And then they also talk about it, in our community, we focus on language competency rather than STEM subjects. So because many universities that require, study language requirement is level 3, but other subjects are 2. So, but I think it is changing. I can see that some university actually the requirement have been modified that to attract more STEM education. But I still when we look at the policy, are they enough? Is my thinking. And then so of course student, parents, school, they also try to encourage students to study STEM education. STEM subjects. Another thing that I want to talk about, give you some background about Hong Kong STEM education integration. And I have a study. I studied 30 at secondary school. So I followed them for 4 or 5 years. So in 2018, it's very interesting. Usually STEM education lead by science. And then most of the approach is science approach, multi-discipline approach. Just mean that, okay, we have STEM education, but okay, science teachers do your own part, mathematics do their own part, and technology is also do their part. And then it's not really coherent, not really integrated. And then many of them, they don't have their own curriculum. They just like project-based. So they don't even have a learning STEM learning space. But in 2021, I go back there and then talk to them. And actually, it's a bit changed. You can see that they have their own curriculum, 50% of them, and then they become more integrated. And then the teacher actually work closely together, and then more technology teacher engage in STEM education now. And then for the learning space, the STEM learning base, actually, I talked to the 30 schools, they all have their own STEM rooms. So it's what happening right now, I would say the last year. And then, so again, the student, when I, then I was like, oh, okay, because our goal of STEM education is, cater the future workforce. So I was like interested, how can we do that? What kind of study that I should do? So you can see that, so it is my rationale of this study. So my study also want to attract more students to study STEM. And then what I use two indicators. One is STEM interest, another one is identity. So why? Because many say talk about it. These two are two very strong indicators that about their future study in STEM or their career in STEM. So, and then this is my rationale. So it is my the reason of the study. And let me go to my study now. So let me talk a little bit about the study, the background. So you can see when you look at this one, the red circle is our student. Is their STEM interest and identity. So how can we contribute this one? In Hong Kong, most of the STEM, I would say career program or STEM education program. So you can see school is a big part. I would say the majority. And then the alumni, the alumni are very important. I also, go back to the school to give talk or one workshop for them if they are in the industry there. University, we run a lot of workshop for them. Taster, they come to our university to have a visit or do some courses. And also industry is a very big part because a lot of initiative in Hong Kong, and actually the school buy out, buy the service from the industry to run the workshop for them. So can this all, enhance students' STEM interest and identity, lead to the workforce? It's my study focused on the purple arrow. Actually, can we do that? But I use something to try to framework from SDD, self-determinant theory. So I use that kind of area that the green arrow is a theory that I want to try to explain, the issue here. So it is the problem, the question that I want to talk about. My main goal is how can we provide high quality education, a STEM education career program? It's my main goal. So what is the factors? What is what our university can do? I mean, all the university can do or industry can do, not just teachers. So I studied nice school. It's about 900 students. The nice graduates, they are from different academic background. This is a background of my study. So there's one thing I want to know. My PV, I try to find out because my main goal is the STEM identity and interest. So I try to collect some data. So in school, we have science, physics, biology, chemistry. We have mathematics, and now we also have ICT. So can this link to the STEM interest and identity? So interesting for my data, and actually science and mathematics identity, they don't lead to the STEM, but technology do. But I think, why? But I try to look at this, there are strong linkage between technology and STEM identity and interest, but not science and mathematics. I think for me, when I interview them, one of the reason is because technology is more lean to the career, so they can see the career path. So maybe I could be work in a web page design, create some web page for someone, work in an IT company. So there's a linkage there. So let's see. Another result I want to share is also the background. I just study them. Are they explorer? I know this is the framework that I analyze the distribution of the STEM identity. So it's very interesting. We only at about 30% of our students, they commit to the STEM career. So the right side, about 34, and the left side, and actually 76% of the students, they don't. I'm at the moment, I don't know what I want, but I'm not sure that if I will work in the STEM career, industry, that after my graduation. So when they look at this one, also look at this one. But we have 65% of the students, they said that they know what STEM career or what kind of job that they have, in the industry. I mean, this is a background that I want you to know. Actually, myself, when I look at this one, actually it's not ideal because we only have 34% that they want to work in that industry. So when I look at the document that school have, so most of the program that offered by school, university, industry, they focus on three things: making and doing. They make a lot of things. And then I remember that one of the students talked to me, I interviewed them. Okay, what do you think about the workshop run by my university? So he said, oh, we just assemble something. They give me some part. We just do it, just like a Lego, just like a Lego-like. So they just put everything together. Very good making, doing. Another one is I also asked, oh, what kind of program that you have? They went to some science camp or whatever. It's more about discipline. They said it's good to have the fun, activity based, but also they said when I talk to them, what can you get that? What kind of job that or career wise? What do you know? What they can offer? They said no. It's more about also discipline, and also they focus on competition. But I would say that what this program that Lake of is like kind of belonging and also connect to the student future. So the workshop is very, very, very good. The student enjoying it, but actually they don't really feel, okay, I learned something new, because you have to understand school is very small community, but university or industry, they're bigger. They can help them to see more, but actually it doesn't really, it's not like that. So I want to look at some more data that with you guys first, and then I will go back. When you come to student perception, you say, okay, do they actually improve? I think the three, in this talk, I will talk about three areas. One is making. So the purple bar is making. It says that, oh, most of the program actually help them to make something, So you can see that they're pretty high, 4 point something, because my number is 1 is strongly disagree, 5 is strongly agree. So most of them agree that they learn about making. But when they come to design, and actually it's not that high. Design thinking is like, design thinking is more about they have a project, they make something, and then they study the user, and then they create something that for the user and test it in the user. This is design thinking in this aspect. So actually, no, the student actually don't have the experience that to design, user design thinking to create the product. But we always seem that, when I review the program, the document that the school have, and many say that they are design thinking, but actually the student don't feel like that. Another one, STEM knowledge, and then it's like pretty. I mean, it's also, I think that in most cases, students don't feel like that. They feel like that they're the same, but just in different situations, different places. And then I also study relevancy. So it's very interesting. Life relevancy is close to their life. So you can see that the purple one, when you look at this one, most of the students think that the STEM activities, the program that they experience is related to their life. But the career, so you can see that very low for school, university, industry, they are very, very, they don't feel like that is relevant to their career or future study. They don't feel like that. But there one is very funny, the alumni, because the alumni that you can see 44.7, they feel that, okay, what I'm doing is relevant to my career. I would say that when I look at this number, I would think because the alumni is close to them, is their big brother, and then they actually work in the industry. They can see that they actually could, they study university, and after university they go to industry and have their own business or work for STEM firm industry. So they feel more relevant. They see that, oh, they can do that. I would say that in this part, why it's so high. And the social relevancy, you can see that most of the program that focus on this one. They talk about global warming or air pollution. It's more about the society. So they actually can taste it, but not the industry program. But because industry program, when I review, it's more about making, doing. So it's very, very interesting to talk about this number. And let me look. Wait. Another one is the feeling. So actually pretty high. The students love all the program, especially outside school. So you can see that they all find it fun, exciting. They want to learn more. I would say that we did a pretty good job because motivate them to do that. So my conclusion because I use some analysis to analyze the student questionnaire and survey. So I found that life relevancy, making, doing, or university industry, this is done a very good job. They actually, make the student love the subject, STEM subject. They find it more fun. But can they actually link to STEM identity? And actually, I would say that in the data show that they don't link to the identity. Usually, interest and identity, they are strongly associated with each other. These two attributes, but in this case, it's not like that. So actually, from university program, fun, they make the student love the subject. The program that focus on making and doing fun also make them love it. The question that more relevant to their life, they also love it because they feel relevances. Another data I want to talk about this one. If the program is using design thinking, also run by the alumni, it focus on career or social relevancy, they actually engage them, make them love it also, but they actually have a very strong association with the STEM identity. What's that mean? That if there's a program that run by the alumni or use of design thinking, make it more career-like, so more likely to strengthen these two attributes to STEM attribute, which is STEM interest and identity. So I just want to also share some why I was like when I interviewed them more time. I mean, I try to understand why. So why can't university and industry program cannot make them feel like that they can work there? So the student found that, and actually they don't understand the feedback from the professional. Usually they make the program, make something. The professional may give them some feedback, focus on technical sides, and then they only sit there and then like listen. But after that, they don't understand what they are talking about. And also, it's very interesting. There one of my survey that asked them to learn 4 STEM, some job related to STEM, and actually most students they couldn't learn more than 4. It's interesting. They couldn't. And then another one, I asked them, what kind of program that we have in university? And actually, many students and teachers they don't know. They don't really know that. So and also I asked them, do you know that what happening in Guangdong and Macau? The job situation about STEM. They also have very, very little understanding. So and then they also find the activities run by school and university are Lego-like. So they basically just something like that. So I want to use a case study to talk about another one that because in night school I follow one school and then study more, and then after that I will conclude that with some recommendation what we can do. So there are one STEM secondary school in Hong Kong. I follow them. When I study them, it's very interesting. They actually have 3 layers. One is the first layer is STEM for all, so everyone have to learn STEM, and the second layer is STEM for neighborhood, neighborhood. So what's that mean? That in that situation, there's some activity they will get out of their school and talk to the communities, what they need, and then design some product for them. And actually, they have been doing it. And also STEM for business. There are some group, a small group of students that they would get out to work with the company that run by the alumni, actually, run by the alumni. And then it's very funny. Now, when I talk to them, that company actually employ like more than 15 students from that graduate from that school, secondary school. The whole company actually belong to the school. And then there are also one engineering professor actually working with them. He is a consultant to the school. And then it's very funny, when he give feedback, he didn't give feedback to the product. He give feedback to the student presentation. This is the key, because when I talk to them, why do you give some recommendation to the product? And then they said that, the kid now they actually can find their own solution. They can talk to many people, and then but the one thing that they're lacking is the business skill, which is how to present their product. What is the thing that so it's very funny that professor actually only give feedback to their presentation, not the product itself. And then also a consultant of their business. And then when I talk to them, it's very funny because the school invited me to their fair. So I went there, and then the school, when they present to me, they give me name card and then shake my hand. And then also, the thing that they make them that they are businessmen, they experience that entrepreneurship, kind of experience. Actually, it's very interesting. And then to give you more about background, actually the school alumni, they run their own business when they're 18. And then, I just say that some current students actually work for the company, something like this. And then the school actually used a lot of career-driven activities, like, for example, noise canceling, headphone designer is one of the activities they do. So they have like physics, mathematics, technology, they're all there. And they actually, I think they're using a career leading approach, actually very, very interesting. And this is a diagram that I want to summarize the case study. So you can see the triangle is the 3-layer. So they also, in this program, that I would say that they focus on career entrepreneurship, experience. They make use of the alumni or university program professor to do the career talk. And you can see there is dynamic here. So it is the case study of the school. So what can we do? So myself is we should in my study that I would say that high quality career education program in STEM I'm talking about. So we should connect our K-12 STEM to the careers. So I would say that, okay, we have these activities, how it related to our career, or our future study, I would say that. And also I found that STEM teacher, they may be able to teach STEM activities, but they don't know much about our program in university related to STEM. They don't. Maybe because in school there are one teacher related. Responsible for career, aspect. But actually, for the STEM teacher, they don't really know much. And also the job situation in Great Bay area. So we have to run the workshop for the STEM teacher, because most of the workshop that we talk about is pedagogy, maybe some knowledge enhancement, but hardly something about industry. And also another one is because in the study we talk about the student don't really understand the feedback from the professor or professional. So maybe we can make use of our university student as an ambassador, as a mentor, mentor them. Maybe when we want some program, we can ask them to share the experience of studying in university. Or some graduate, we usually use our current student. Do we have any graduate from university to talk to them? And actually, this one is a bigger impact. I would say that. Another one, the teacher workshop on is the same thing. And also, we should organize more seminars about our STEM development for the school teacher and student. The last part is I would say that we should talk about career leading STEM activities. Yes, I think this is what I want to share today. Yes, and it is, I would say that if we can do something like this, it is a diagram that summarizes what I just talked about. Yes.
Now, we would like to invite our first discussant, Professor Ching-sing Chai, to share with us his views on Professor Chiu's presentation and his views on STEM education in high school. Professor Chai obtained his EDD from University of Leicester. He has served as an academic in the National Institute of Education at Nanyang Technological University. He joined CUHK in 2017 as a professor in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. His areas of research include teacher education, technological pedagogical content knowledge for the 21st century learning, teacher beliefs, and ICT in education. He has published more than 100 SSCI papers in these areas. He has recently expanded the Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge (TPAC) framework to include STEM education. Please join me in welcoming Professor Chai. The floor is yours, Professor Chai.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank Thomas for his very wonderful presentation. So he studied the student sides of the story within the school and gave us an understanding about what is happening in school. I actually collaborated a lot with Thomas, and like the chair has shared, I'm a research person in TPAC. To put it simply, technological pedagogical content knowledge is about how to use technology in a way that is pedagogically sound for any subject matter teaching. So when I joined Hong Kong in 2018, the faculty tasked me to actually study a little bit about the STEM education because this is the incoming thing for Hong Kong. So I use my background knowledge to try to understand what is happening. So the first conclusion that when I look at the STEM initiative, I felt that it is asking a lot from the teacher, really a lot, because to us, I do technology integrated learning. So to ask the teacher to be really fluent with this technology, pedagogy plus the content knowledge, just to teach well, it takes a few years. Just integration of technology, it has never actually really reached the stage of constructivist use of technology. So when you talk about this STEM, now you have all kind of subject into it. So it sounds like very, very daunting for the teachers. And so we did a first research. The first research actually highlights the first stage of a new initiative. That is, teacher has a lot of concern. And we published a paper on that about teachers' concern, quite well cited. And the second research that we try to do is to conceptualize what kind of competency the teachers need. So I draw on my research. I think the teacher needs technological pedagogical science knowledge, technological pedagogical mathematics knowledge, then technological pedagogical engineering knowledge. And with this type of knowledge, competency, then they can move towards this integrative STEM. So this is the broad framework that I have laid out, and the research actually was done first of all to validate the instrument, whether we can measure this thing or not. So in terms of technological pedagogical science knowledge, the general things that we are looking at is whether the teacher can use pedagogy to help students to learn science, especially in the inquiry part. And the technological pedagogical mathematics knowledge, the focus is on whether the teachers can use technology to help students to do modeling so that they can use it in the STEM context. The third one is technological pedagogical engineering knowledge, with the acknowledgement that actually engineering knowledge is what the teacher lack. But with this making and all the simpler coding coming into the pedagogical field, we still manage to test this, and then the technological, pedagogical, engineering knowledge actually focus on the design processes where the science and math are put together. So with these three, we try to predict the integrative STEM efficacy. And the first research is done in actually China. We are able to find the factors, valid and sound, okay. But then we find that the technological, pedagogical, math knowledge does not contribute to the integrative STEM. So I think in a sense, math teachers are a bit lacking behind for this sample that we have. And then based on this, we also did a kind of a test to see whether the instrument is sensitive enough or not. And we found out that it is sensitive enough there to distinguish between teachers who have STEM experience and those who have not taught STEM before. So one way to develop the teacher seems to be very clear is that they need to have actual experience in teaching. After the workshop, they need to implement what they have been what they have been taught. The whole process should be workshop to start something. Then after that, they co-design some curriculum, implement. After that, they will develop the competency that they need. So we repeated this research with Hong Kong teacher. So this is the result from Hong Kong teacher. It's a 6-point scale, 6-point scale. So we use a validated instrument, and we found that the knowledge are actually interconnected. And according to what we hypothesized, math will predict engineering, math will predict science, math will predict interdisciplinary, which is the I-STEM, engineering. It works the way it is. Out of the 6 point, look at the Hong Kong teachers mean score. It is all around 4.7 to 4.6. So this data was collected in 2019. When I came in, it's beginning of 2018. There's a lot of STEM workshop, and then I only read one paper. That time I did a survey on the SSCI database about Hong Kong professors' publication on STEM. Then I only found one, Winnie So, who is, I think, is here. Then after that, we did a few of these. Now this is what we are looking at among Hong Kong teachers. We are seeing, I think the score is reasonable. 4 is slightly agree, 5 is agree. So we are moving. The teachers' competency are growing in that sense. So I think with what Thomas is observing, reporting, and what I am seeing with my research, I think the two things are moving hand in hand. And but based on what Thomas has shared, if we have more updated data, are the enrollment for the engineering courses in university, are they going to get more students and students with better grade? That's one of the indicators we have to observe in the future. Okay, I stop my sharing.
We'll move on to the second discussion, Professor Peter Wang. Professor Wang obtained his PhD from the University of Hong Kong. Cultivating STEM talent with an emphasis on interdisciplinary STEM learning is a long-standing research interest of Professor Wang. In his projects, he has investigated many topics concerning STEM education, including the relationship between STEM learning and STEM career aspirations, the impacts of STEM project-based learning, understanding the integration of STEM, and cultivating students with ADHD, which stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, through STEM robotics. His research works have been widely published in top international journals. He has also designed and published a series of STEM maker textbooks. Please join me in welcoming Professor Peter Wang. Professor Wang, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. And I think Thomas' studies has showed a very holistic picture of what is being doing in the middle school and the primary school about STEM education, and actually has illustrated the major impacts influence students' intention or interest, identity of STEM. And Professor Tsai also emphasized the important information about teacher from teacher's perspective, especially the technological, pedagogical content knowledge. And I think all this has given insights to investigate the current situation in Hong Kong. And actually, I would share about my views and echo some points raised by Thomas and Professor Tsai. First, I have talked with the school students, teachers, and the university students, and I think one of the major situation or concern they care most is the current STEM career situation in Hong Kong. They raised, okay, the STEM industry, the industry is not so so popular in Hong Kong, and then not so many positions. And for the university students, especially the major, they said even we can find the STEM related job in Hong Kong, there's some so very limited opportunity for them to get promoted. So this is a reality in Hong Kong, because the economic structure of Hong Kong is not so industry focused. And actually, we maybe this is a major concern, but I think this also many questions raised by teachers why we should promote STEM education in Hong Kong. But maybe I would like to share my experience, because the education is more future oriented. We cannot constrained by the current situation to plan our education in the future. Even is the case, the second world will not be developed because the industry is always in the less developed. So I think the current STEM education actually reflect the current trend of economy in the world, as indicated in the report of the World Economic Forum, and actually more than 100,000 million work will be replaced by the machine. And here is another table. Okay, actually, and in this figure, we can see in 2025, and the most work in the world will be done by the machine rather than the human being. So I think this is the trend of the economy, and it's inevitable for us for Hong Kong to develop the STEM industry. So this is the major force, and in the future, and I think STEM career will be the major market of the labor force market in the future. And I think this, and I think this is the basic argument for we to promote STEM education in Hong Kong. And in addition to the world trend, as all can see it, and STEM education is not just for developed students disciplinary knowledge and skills. They will develop students' genetic skills can also used in other careers. So this is maybe the value, additional value for us to promote STEM education in Hong Kong. Actually, when we can implement STEM activity more efficiently, students also can develop more genetic and advanced knowledge and skill can be applied in different contexts. I think this may be the major argument for us to think about STEM education in Hong Kong. And also, I would like to add to respond to the points raised by Thomas. She mentioned, and most of the activity now is being carried out in the middle school or primary school is something like Lego typed. Actually, this kind of Lego type activity, I think, is some weakness. First, actually, there many STEM elements can be found in the Lego typed activities, but we can find all these elements, STEM elements, have not been explicitly taught in the activity. In this sense, I think most of students will not realize and learn these skills and activities in the STEM learning. This is a major challenge in current STEM teaching and learning. And the second is about creativity. Actually, creativity is very important skill in for the future. And actually, if we just rely on the recipe like STEM activity to develop students creativity, I think it's will be very limited to cultivate more competent labor force. There also another kind of weakness is the connection among different activities. We can see most activity. We can see most activities are very interesting, but it's difficult to perceive the connection between the first activity and the second and the following activities. Also, it will reduce the efficiency of student learning. Maybe there is a picture which was used to describe the traditional disciplinary based learning, but now I don't expect the current standard activity will like this. You can see on the left, the students with well something of color, but eventually when they get out from the school, their creativity and their intelligence will be illustrated, and this may be also reflect some current status of some recipe based the Lego type activity. Okay, and this is my brief sharing of some of the my observation thinking of STEM education. Actually, I think this topic is about not just related to STEM career, it's also related to the Great Bay Area. I think maybe I just want to just raise a question for us to discuss. So actually, and I'm carrying out a project to investigate the STEM majors. Okay, all of them have choose STEM as the career, but I think their intention to work in the Great Bay Area other than Hong Kong maybe it's not so positive, according to the data I'm collecting. So I would like to pose a question to discuss with Thomas and Professor Tsai about what's the major factors which will influence STEM majors, the intention to work in the Great Bay Area. Okay, not just STEM career. They have actually most of them have chosen the STEM as the career, but however, what's the factor influence the attention to work in other GBA areas? Okay, this may be interesting and relate to the topic of this seminar. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I'm afraid we are running out of time, but let me first thank Professor Chiu, Professor Tsai, and Professor Wang for a very fruitful and lively discussion that we can hopefully help to improve our training and our policy in STEM education. I'd like to thank our audience for their active participation. Just a preview on our next webinar. We already discussed some of the issues in today's webinar and how do we integrate Hong Kong into the Greater Bay Area. And so the next topic is on the limits of Hong Kong's integration in the GBA. Our speaker would be Professor Song Yan-wing, adjunct professor from the Department of Economics at CUHK. And our two discussants are Professor Jiang Fa Shen, professor at the Department of Geography and Resource Management, and Professor Sarah Zhong, associate professor at the Department of Sociology at CUHK. See you then.